What is going on, lads, and welcome back to FIFA 13 Mythbusting. Last time we tested out the 6 chemistry Eto'o and found that there was basically no difference between the 6 chem and the 9 chem Eto'o, so if you did miss that video, there is a link to that in the description. There's also a link down there to FIFA coin traders, so if you're looking to buy some FIFA coins, make sure you use them as they're a nice and reliable way to buy them. So this time, we've done probably what was one of the most requested videos in the comment section of the Eto'o one, which was to try out a whole 6 chemistry team. So we found that there was not really any difference between using just a normal normal Eto'o and 6 chemistry Eto'o, so you could just stick them in any team that you want. So now people wanted to test out a whole 66 chemistry team with every player on 6 chem. So that's all dead links, and basically people want to know whether they can just use any team that they want to, rather than making one with full chemistry. They can just put all the most OP players in the game in it. So that's what I've gone and done. I've gone and built myself a pretty overpowered team in what is my favourite formation. You can see it on the screen there. It's in a 4-3-3, as that is my favourite formation. It's got some of my favourite strikers and wingers and defence and all sorts of stuff like that. It's a really solid team. We've got Asaidu, who's OP as hell, Ben Arthur, OP as hell. We've still got Eto'o up there, rocking it up at striker. We've got a quality midfield. We've got Ogbonna. It's an absolutely awesome team, and of course we're going to test this team out, and of course the first port of call is to go and test the players' in-game stats. So in the first video we established that there's no difference between Eto'o's stats when he's on 6 chemistry and 9 chemistry. So this time we've gone and checked some different players just to make sure that it isn't just for Eto'o. And first you can see Abate, and you can see that all of his stats were exactly the same. And we're just going to keep rolling through some different players in the team. We've got a nice little selection. We've got Abate, we've got Ogbonna here. You can see again all of his stats are exactly the same. Both of them are on high morale. It's just the one on the left, he is on 9 chemistry, and the one on the right, he is on 6 chemistry. So there's literally no difference between them at all. And like I said, we've got a couple of selections of players, a centre-back, we've got a right-back. I think we've got Ben Arthur as well now, yeah. So again, his stats are exactly the same. So it's not just strikers, it's not just centre-backs or defenders or wingers, it's literally every single player. So this was pretty promising news, and we were expecting the team to play well as everyone was on the same amount of stats. So we went into the game, and these were our first 2 games with the team that I'm going to show you now. And we started off in the semi-final of the Cup, as I'd already done the first 2 rounds with a different team when I built this team. And we came up against a really solid, sweaty Bundesliga team. So he's got Felipe Santana, he's got Royce, he's got Blazikowski, so it's a really solid team. And he went and took the lead in the 45th minute with a nice little screamer. Not really too much you could do about it, although the defence was a little bit sloppy, so I was on the fence about this team to start off with. And then Abate goes and smashes one in the back of the net and restored a little bit of hope in this squad. We then run through on goal with Eto'o, who we all know is overpowered anyway, and he smashes a nice near post OP, makes it 2-1, and then finally Eto'o bags himself another absolute screamer to make it 3-1 and put us through to the final. So we're in pretty good confidence about this team, but of course it might just be that it's one game of luck and we have to go and test it out again. So we've gone and played the final, and this was the guy that we came up against in the final. So this game was a lot tighter, and we did concede quite a few goals in this game. You can see there, him first bagging himself a goal with Fellaini, but we did score some pretty good goals ourselves. Eto'o goes on a quality run using his pace and then just finesses it round his keeper to bring it back to 1-1, and then we go and actually take the lead ourselves, us this time using Fellaini to score from a corner. So we can still score goals with this team, however we are struggling to defend a little bit, and he does manage to bag himself another goal with Fellaini, but we obviously, as I've said, this team is decent at scoring, and we do go and get ourselves a goal with Ozil. Now, to cut a long story short, this game ended up at 4-4, and then it went to penalties after extra time, and we managed to win on penalties. Nice little save from Neuer there, giving us the win and making us actually win the cup with this team. So I was actually really pleased with this team and thought it was an absolutely quality team. I'd just gone and won the cup with them, how could I not? However, looking back on it, some of the defending was just really sloppy and just not as good as it should have been. And this was actually pointed out to me when I went and played Eto'o, as you probably know him, in his stream. So I went and gave him a game, and I got absolutely dicked on, and I ended up losing about 5-0 or something stupid like that. So I played a couple more games with this team and realised that the defending was actually pretty bad, and the runs that the players were making was actually pretty bad, and they weren't moving into space, and that it was probably just maybe I'd come up against 2 bad guys, or just had a really good game, or just the fact that me players are a little bit overpowered is what won me the first 2 games, and they were won by a little bit of a squeeze. So this got me thinking as to why this could be, because we know that Eto'o plays exactly the same when he's on 6 chemistry himself, when he's in a normal team. However, this team just didn't seem to be playing like they should do, and I realised that the difference between Eto'o on 6 chem and this team on 6 chem was that Eto'o is in a 99 chemistry team, whereas this team is only on 66 chemistry. So what I went and did was built myself this team. So you can see that this team is now on 100 chemistry. It's still got the main core of players. We've got the same 3 strikers. We've got Gundogan, we've got Ozil, we've got Abate and Ogbonna with Neuer in goal. So it's still basically the same team. However, we've changed it up a little bit to get ourselves 100 chemistry. And basically the premise of this is to see if the 3 players that are on 6 chem, which are the strikers, and then Gundogan, who's actually on 7 chem, will still perform and the team will still work just as well. Nice chance creation and stuff like that. Now that even though some of them still haven't got full chemistry themselves, the team is on 100 chemistry overall. So the first thing that we did to test this team was go and play Atsi again, and we did still lose, but that is just down to the fact that Atsi is better than me at FIFA and he plays with a 5 at the back team, but we didn't lose quite as bad, so the defence was playing well and they were doing what they should have been. I've since then gone and played quite a lot of games with this team and I've enjoyed it a lot more than the 66 chemistry one. The team just performs a lot better as a whole, and that is probably to do with the overall team chemistry. So the conclusion that I'm going to draw from this is that overall team chemistry makes a difference, but individual player chemistry doesn't seem to make much difference at all. Obviously I could be wrong, and of course one study doesn't always prove something, so feel free to go and test it out yourself. Disagree with me in the comment section. I want to know your thoughts and feedback on this. Of course this was just with 6 chem strikers as well, so if you'd like me to go and test it, a full chemistry team with a 6 chem defence or a 6 chem midfield, then that is perfectly viable for me to do. What I was thinking of doing for the next one is, even though this team performed well, the 6 chem Eto'o, when it was on 6 chem, still seemed to be the standout player of this team. So what I was thinking of doing, although we've already done a video and shown that the 6 chem Eto'o is an absolutely quality player and it's perfectly legitimate for you to go and use him and put him in any team and he'll play well, what I'm going to do is compare him to my favourite striker on the game, that is Mayuka on 6 chemistry. So if Eto'o outperforms Mayuka on 6 chem, with Mayuka being my favourite player on the game, then there must be something there to do with the fact that it's just Eto'o Eto'o is a lot more overpowered than all the other players on 6 chemistry. So once again, leave your comments, suggestions, feedback in the description, in the comment section of course, to this video. Let me know what other myths you want testing. If you agree with me or if you disagree with me, feel free to let me know. Don't go mental and smash that dislike button. Of course, do be sure to drop this video a like. The last one of these smashed 350 likes, so if you could do that again or even hit 400, that would be massively appreciated. But thanks for watching, lads. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and maybe you're going to go and test out some 6 chem players, throw them in your team and just make sure it's on 100 chemistry and you will be perfectly fine in my opinion. But that's the end of the video, so thanks for watching, lads. Subscribe if you're new and I will see you next time.